If you've ever thought about creating your own podcast, but were overwhelmed at the thought of it taking a long time to do, I invite you to join me in my upcoming free workshop all about the top 3 myths that hold back most would-be podcasters from launching. I'd love to have you join me there as I walk you through the top 3 reasons why most people tell me they're not podcasting. Want to find out what they are? All you have to do is head over to youngpratt.com/myths, plural, and save yourself a seat in this free live workshop. I hope to see you there. Are you using video in your business? If not, you are missing out on a huge opportunity to connect with your current clients and future clients and to build a tribe around your message and your expertise. Welcome to episode number 209 of the In a Weekend podcast. I'm your host, Young Pratt, and you're in the right place if you are looking to simplify, to automate, or to leverage the assets inside your life and business and want to do it quickly. Now, it's almost funny or ironic that I should be talking about using video because at one point in my life, you couldn't pay me enough to be on video. Not even on a voiceover video where I show the screen only. I had such a fear of using video in my business that when I first started my podcast back in 2013, I realized that video is really the method I needed to use most to share my message. However, I just was so afraid that I walked away. I stopped podcasting and I just couldn't get over the fear of video. And really looking back at it now, it was really the fear of public speaking and the fear of, being out there, putting my message out there, having people hear me, having people listen to me, having them not like me. All of these things prevented me from doing the one thing that I knew I needed to do. I just couldn't do it. And it wasn't until I found a local Toastmasters group and committed to going every week at 6:30 in the morning on a Friday that point was so pivotal for me because there were some opportunities I had in graduate school to allow me to speak at a national convention, but I had to speak. I had to prepare a presentation and stand in front of a room of fellow dance educators. If you don't already know, I owned a performing arts school locally in my area for 17 years before coming into this online space. And so I had this opportunity, this speaking event that I knew could propel my business forward and really what I wanted to do. I, more than anything, wanted to share what I had learned in graduate school and how I had applied it in my own studio and the successes we were having with my own students. It was really a big deal, but still, the idea of speaking freaked me out completely. If you can relate to that, keep listening because I'm going to share a little bit of my journey about using video now as my primary method to multiply my message. And in case you didn't listen to last week's episode, number 208, I want you to go back and take a listen. I will link it up on today's show notes at youngpratt.com/209. Last week we dove into the idea of repurposing, or what I like to call multiply your message. And I shared with you a free resource that I've created so you can start doing the same thing in your business starting today. If you go to youngpratt.com/209, you can grab it right there, and you can also link back to last week's episode. Okay, so let's go back to this idea of video and how it totally scared me, and then I finally decided that I needed to do something about it and joined Toastmasters. Well, Toastmasters turned out to be one of the most life-changing things I had ever done. Not only did I learn to stand in front of a group of people and give a prepared speech, I learned how to do things extemporaneously. Things like table topics where somebody would ask a question or say a phrase or a word, and then I had to give a response off the cuff for a minute or two. I don't remember the exact time frames anymore. But it was an interesting process to go through learning all of these things because I had never learned to focus on that in school. And even in college, I had a communications class and I dreaded going every week because it meant I had to stand in front of a group of people, of my peers, my fellow students, and talk to them about something. And it just felt mostly uncomfortable because I spent so much time trying to avoid having people look at me because I was so self-conscious. I didn't like the attention, even at birthday parties. It felt really weird for me to be gracious when people were just watching me open my presents. Having those eyes on me just kind of unnerved me. And again, it goes back to this whole fear of criticism or judgment I perceived or thought people had if I did certain things. So I avoided being in the limelight. I avoided speaking up in class, and I avoided public speaking for a long time until my Toastmasters experience. My fellow Toastmasters were also people that were working professionally. Many of them had their own businesses, and they too saw the need to really push themselves outside their comfort zones and really hone this art of public speaking. What I really loved most about the Toastmasters journey was that you kind of start in the beginning. You start with a speech about you. So, we all know about ourselves better than anybody, so it's a great starting point. And with each of the speeches that you do, you are working on a different part of speechcraft and working on different presentation skills. And I just really loved the consistency of here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3, and you could go through them step by step. And being an academic for so long and being in that educational environment, getting my undergraduate degree and then my master's degree, it was akin to having a course syllabus that I kind of knew what to expect. I knew kind of roughly when things were due and kind of the tools I needed to use to do with them. So other than putting the speech together, I kind of had this blueprint of how Toastmasters has walked probably millions of people through the process of becoming speakers. The people in my Toastmasters group were amazing. Remember I told you I was going at 6:30 in the morning on a Friday? I am totally not a morning person still to this day, yet Fridays quickly became my most favorite days of the week because there was so much positivity and so much support and so much love and gratitude, and just it was such a warm and welcome environment. I couldn't help but to thrive. So if you're out there thinking public speaking is not for me, going live on video is not for me, I would urge you to hop on the internet and look for a local Toastmasters organization, because it literally was one of the most pivotal moments in my life and literally has led me to where I am today. I will have to say, still, after my Toastmasters experience, going live on video or even behind the video on a screen share video was still uncomfortable. And it wasn't until I found another mentor whose name is Tiffany Lee Bymaster. I took her course last year called Lights, Camera, Branding. And now I know she is opening up the doors soon to LCB. And if you want more information about my experience and you want to hear about my transformation, I'd love to share that with you. Message me on Facebook or over on Instagram, and I'm happy to walk you through that. It's an incredible experience, and it transformed the way I do video now and how I start everything in my business with video first. I use video to multiply my message and I urge you to do the same. So today's tip is I want you to go live on Facebook or your favorite platform. It could be Instagram or YouTube. And I want you to tag me over there and let me know you've shared a video. Because the one thing you can quickly and easily do to that video is turn it into an audio. And this is something I do all the time. And it's something that I advocate and teach my students, because if you're doing video already, the idea of turning that video into an audio for a podcast and so much more is super, super simple. Now, in the coming weeks, I'm going to be unpacking some of my favorite tools, some of which are free and some of which are very, very, very low cost. You're probably going to be blown away at how cheap some of these tools are because of how much they can do for you. So be sure to tag me on Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube and let me know you've created and committed to doing a little video, even if it's just a few minutes long. Then be sure to head over to youngpratt.com/209 so you can listen to episode 208 if you haven't done that, all about repurposing, and grab our free 5-part framework called Multiply Your Message. Okay, my friends, I'm going to leave you with that. I cannot wait to watch your videos and cheer you on. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.